Brad's Status is directed by Mike White and stars Ben Stiller as Brad Sloan, a father who is taking his son on a trip across Boston to all of the best colleges that it has to offer. However, there is a lot more going on with Brad as he looks at all of his own college friends and how successful they became, and he can't help but feel that his life is something of a failure in comparison. This sends Brad into a bit of a spiral. I had my eye on this movie ever since it was released in the US back in September, mainly because I love absolutely anything Ben Stiller does. I think Ben Stiller is one of the most underrated actors working today. I have always been a huge fan of his, ranging from Meet the Parents or Madagascar when I was younger, to There's Something About Mary, Along Came Polly, and a big favourite of mine, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I have just loved Ben Stiller for a long time. He reminds me a lot of my father, actually, and maybe that's why I relate to him, but I find that I like anything he does, and I find him extremely underrated. For a long time, he was typecasted in comedy roles, but when he was given a good script to work with, he can seriously pull off a strong dramatic performance. Brad's Status is for sure one of those performances. This is Ben Stiller's best performance. He is very good here. He does not exactly go above and beyond for the role, but the movie does not require him to. He just plays a very grounded and real character, which is electric in a subtle way. It's hard to describe. You really see how fantastic Ben is during a scene towards the end of the movie. When that scene played out, I wanted to clap. Ben Stiller gives his best performance in this movie, and I could not see anybody else in that role. Almost all of the performances in the movie are fantastic. Notice how I said almost all. This leads me into my only negative for the film. Going into Brad's Status, I was worried about The Walking Dead's Austin Abrams as Brad's son. On The Walking Dead, he was very cringy and annoying. However, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt as he may have grown and matured a bit since his character was killed off. He didn't. Austin Abrams is extremely inconsistent in this film. On the one hand, he's very monotone, which makes it very difficult to understand what he says sometimes. On the other hand, though, he sometimes is able to come off as a very convincing teenager, and he offers up a lot of the mannerisms of a teenager, which I appreciated. Sometimes he really irritated me, and other times I enjoyed what he was able to provide, but that is my only negative. Even though I said Austin Abrams was sometimes able to give a convincing performance, a lot of that comes down to the writing, which is stellar. Mike White, who is also the director of the film, was able to write a very real script that is also quite poppy and snappy. Every single character has some brilliant dialogue here that makes each and every character feel like somebody that you could know in real life. Also, while the script offers up some great dramatic moments, it also has some naturally funny moments too. There is never anything side-hurting with the film's comedy, but it's that natural everyday humour that is relatable. Overall, it's a fantastic script. Continuing on with the script, I have to say I love how they handled the character of Brad. Ben Stiller's character deals with a common problem that many of us deal with on a daily basis: anxiety. At many points throughout the day, you will worry what people think about you, and this will send you into a spiral of doubt. Or perhaps something will happen and you'll begin to think of all the other possible outcomes, and how that particular situation could have played out. This is a relatable concept, and something that doesn't get focused on too much in films, and this made it quite a refreshing story. Like I said earlier, Mike White is the director of this film, and he does a really good job capturing all the elements in this movie. All of the shots in this film feel real, and it helps you get immersed. It feels like you're along for the ride based on just the camera work alone. What's interesting is that this movie was distributed by Amazon Studios, who also distributed one of my favourite movies of 2017, The Big Sick. My point is that both Brad's Status and The Big Sick both came from the same studio, and you can tell. The way they are shot and edited are very similar, and this is a very good thing. Mike White knocked it out of the park with the direction of this movie, and I think he was the perfect choice. I also have to credit the music in Brad's Status. It helps you settle into the movie as all of the music is really nice and quite relaxing. Also, there's a particular piece of music which acts as a motif throughout the film. It pops up rather frequently and is a very striking piece. It's like a bit of energy that gets surged in, and it represents when Brad's thoughts spike, and it's a very clever tactic that I've never really seen used before. Overall, Brad's Status was a lovely movie. With fantastic direction, excellent writing on all levels, distinct music, relatable themes, and the best performance you'll ever see from Ben Stiller, I feel that Brad's Status is one of the most underappreciated films of last year and this year in the UK. This film has gone completely under the radar of not just audiences but also critics, and I feel that this is a crime towards this film. Please go and seek out this movie if you need to, because I promise you that it will be worth your time. and I already have a feeling that this may remain in my top 10 films of 2018 until the very end. So, did you guys see Brad Status? I doubt it, but if you did, please tell me in the comment section below what you liked, what you didn't, and let's get a discussion going about this movie. And subscribe to The British Critic for more movie reviews and movie related videos.